We've made it to the Final Four of the NFL season. Conference Championship Week. Can the Bills beat the Chiefs? Then we got the Commanders versus the Eagles. One more sleep. Conference Championship Week. Bills versus Chiefs. Commanders versus Eagles. Two interesting games with interesting storylines. These are probably one of the best matchups you can get in each week. And they're happening on Sunday. Eagles, Commanders, Chiefs versus Bills. Storylines. Jayden Daniels. Can he be the first rookie quarterback to make the Super Bowl? Can Jalen Hurts actually play good in the playoffs? Can Josh Allen beat the Chiefs? Can the Bills beat the Chiefs? Or is Patrick Mahomes' voodoo magic with the Chiefs just unstoppable? And can they own the Bills? Again, storyline. And I'm going to give you my predictions. This is predictions. This is who I think is going to win. And I'm going to start with the main event. No waiting around. Chiefs versus Bills, 6 o'clock on Sunday. Everybody's going to be sitting down. This is the best game you can get in the playoffs. If you looked at the playoff schedule, look at the playoff bracket, and you said, what's one game that would be the best game? Chiefs versus Bills, easily. Runaway answer. Easily. Josh Allen, MVP candidate. He's playing the best football of his career. Yet he's going against a team that has owned him in the playoffs, year after year. Beat him 3 times in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They started off slow in the season. They weren't as good. They were getting away free with some mistakes. Slow start, close games. They almost lost to the damn Raiders. But they turned it around since. They lost to the Bills early in the season, 30-21. The Bills beat them in Buffalo. But this game's in Arrowhead. This game's at home for the Chiefs, and it's in the playoffs. Every playoff stat, in my head, points to the Chiefs. Last week, it was Andy Reid coming off a bye, only has 3 losses in his career. Patrick Mahomes never lost a divisional round. That was last week. This week, it's the Chiefs have beat Josh Allen in the playoffs 3 straight times, and he's beat them none. And you know what else the other stat is? And I'm picking the Chiefs. You know what else the other stat is? Patrick Mahomes, statistically, is projected to be the greatest of all time. That's my other stat. Patrick Mahomes, statistically, is projected to be the greatest football player of all time, surpassing Tom Brady if he wins this Super Bowl and he just continues to play good football. Alright? That's my stat. But for real, the Bills, they're good. They're good. Even if you looked at the roster before the season and you said, this team is going to be better than the Bills team from last year, the year before, you'll shake your head and scratch your head and doubt it. But somehow, with less playmakers, with less talent, this team has been really, really good. And you could see it last week. They beat the Ravens with Josh Allen only passing for 127 yards. I mean, they had the perfect game plan to beat the Ravens with Josh Allen just having to manage the game and just make the right plays in the right situations. I mean, the defense was capitalizing off of turnovers. The offense capitalized off turnovers. The defense caused turnovers. Some of them were self-inflicted. Mark Andrews sold the game multiple times. Fumble. 2-point conversion. I think the Bills would have lost the game if they tied it. The Ravens had the momentum. But the Bills are here. They don't care how they got here. They're here. And they just want to be here. And you're damn right. They want to beat this Chiefs team. But they ain't going to beat them. They're banged up on the secondary. Taylor Rapp's out. Benford's questionable. Benford's out. I don't know what to say. Because you're giving Patrick Mahomes man-to-man pickings. You can't play his own against Patrick Mahomes too much. I mean, they're going to dink and dunk their way down the field. And if they play man, they got a banged up secondary. DeMar Hamlin's playing good. They got some good DBs. But if you're playing man-to-man with this banged up secondary, it's going to be fast receivers. It might be hell. And if you play zone, Travis Kelce's getting 10 receptions for 100 yards. Alright? Now, the Chiefs, they don't have the ability to run the ball like the Bills. They haven't had the ability to run the ball since Pacheco came back. It didn't matter. They were better without him. And the Chiefs' O-line is not in a good spot either. They have Joe Tooney switching to left tackle for the game. They're banged up. And it's not going to be good for the run game. But I trust Patrick Mahomes. Alright? It's Patrick Mahomes. You don't pick against Patrick Mahomes. You don't pick against Andy Reid. You don't pick against Steve Spagnuolo after what you saw last season in the playoffs. This is when the Chiefs turn it on. Alright? It's the regular season, alright? The regular season and the playoffs are two separate things. You use the regular season to get to the playoffs, but when you get to the playoffs, it's a different breed. And when you turn it on, that's what separates you from the other teams. Your ability to turn it on in the playoffs. And the Chiefs have the ability to turn it on in the playoffs. These close games have managed to get them to have, gives them the ability. Like Jayden Daniels, those close games, they help them. Because they give him the ability to be comfortable in those close games. And Patrick Mahomes has played too many close games. I'm not saying Josh Allen has it either, but Patrick Mahomes has the bigger clutch ability, in my opinion. And this game's going to come down to a play. A significant play. It might be a roughing the passer. Which Josh Allen actually has the most roughing the passers in the NFL. Stop complaining about Patrick Mahomes and the roughing the passers. I'm not a Chiefs fan, even though I sound like one, but just saying. But Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to make that play. Alright? I trust Patrick Mahomes. I trust in being able to find his playmakers. Worthy, Brown, those fast dudes, Travis Kelce, Mr. Reliable. Alright? I think the Bills' lack of playmakers might come into play in this game. Alright? And I think the Chiefs walk away with this one. It's going to be tight. The spread's 2? So Vegas thinks it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be tight. But I think the defense is going to play an important part. And I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to be able to draw something up and game plan something to disrupt Josh Allen and stop Josh Allen. Like, that's the game plan the last 3 years, or the last 3 times they played Josh Allen. Stop Josh Allen, slow him down, slow down his little runs, slow him down, and just contain him. That's what the Chiefs are going to do. Everybody's picking against the Chiefs. You don't pick against the Chiefs. Alright? I don't pick against the Chiefs. And I'm not picking against them here. Because I don't see anything different. The Chiefs, they're going to go to the Super Bowl again, and the Bills are going to lose to the Chiefs again. History's going to repeat itself. This is no different. Chiefs win the game. Now, the NFC. I actually really like this game. So I started with the main event. Alright? The main event, I see it simple. This game, it's a little more complex, alright? Vegas has a little farther, 6.5 spread. But I like this game a lot. I like this game. Season series, 1-1. Eagles won the first game. Commanders won the second game. Jalen Hurts got hurt in that game. That's where he got the concussion. He hasn't been the same since the damn concussion. That's where he got the concussion. But I don't think that's a factor in that game. The Commanders put 36 points on the Eagles in that game. 36 points. And you know how many turnovers they had in that game? 5. They had 5 turnovers. They won the game with 5 turnovers and still put up 36 points. And the game plan, coming into this game right here, and the game plan for the rest of the Eagles playoffs games, is give the ball to Saquon Barkley, let him run behind that O-line, and something's going to work. And it works. It works to a T. Alright? And that was the game plan. Kenny Pickett game, obviously. You got to run the ball. And all they do is run. He had some big plays, but ultimately, he had 150 yards, 2 touchdowns in that game. And guess what? They still lost. Alright? The game plan's not going to be much different. Jalen Hurts had 130 yards in back-to-back playoff games. I don't even know how they won these games. To be honest, they lose against the Rams. The Eagles lose against the Rams if it's not negative 45 degrees outside with blizzard-like conditions. Alright, Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford, back-to-back fumbles, left 2 field goals. They lost by 6. And they still had the opportunity to go down the field, march down the field, and were on the red zone. Had the opportunity to score a touchdown. They couldn't capitalize. It was just turnovers and drop balls because they're throwing frozen ropes and not used to it. And had the Rams losing that game. And that's part of the weather conditions. That's part of the advantage of the Eagles. But I'm saying they lose that game, and they did not play a better game than the Rams, a much better game. And the Eagles haven't been playing good football. Jordan Love played terrible football in the wild card round. That's why the Eagles lost. They had a missed field goal before half, and they had a kick return fumble the first play of the game. The Eagles are capitalizing off their opportunities, yes, but the opportunities are pretty damn lucky, if you ask me. I mean, what's the odds that the first play of the game is a kick return fumble? How many times does that happen? You're getting fortunate. That's what I'm saying, they're getting fortunate. And Jayden Daniels is comfortable in tight games. Can he be the first rookie quarterback to make the Super Bowl? I don't know. But he's comfortable in tight games. Really comfortable. Too comfortable. Way too comfortable. And he's gotten too confident. The Eagles haven't lost since they played the Commanders, since they lost to the Commanders. And the Commanders obviously haven't lost since they played them. Okay? Jayden Daniels has gotten better and better and better and better since that game. throughout the season, and he's gotten better with close games. He's played more close games, and he's gotten comfortable in those close games more, and more. And Jalen Hurts does not look comfortable at all. In my opinion, in this game, if you looked at the playoffs, it would be like Jayden Daniels is the veteran quarterback. Jalen Hurts looks like a dead fish. Looks like a fish out of water. The way you can just see the pressure get to him. It looks like a deer in the headlights. Now, the run game in this game, big advantage to the Eagles. O-line, Jalen Hurts can run. Saquon Barkley can run. But you saw what Joe Witt said. Jalen Hurts is banged up. He had a concussion, missed 2.5 weeks, came back for the playoffs. Then he got a knee injury, bent his knee really bad in the Rams game. He was hobbling around. He did not look the same at all. He couldn't move. He was still in the game. He didn't miss a snap. But they said, if Jalen Hurts is going to run, we're going to hit him like a running back. So they better keep him in that pocket. And the Commanders are coming different, all right? The Commanders, they're coming aggressive. They have so much confidence beating the number 1 seed and beating the Bucs as underdogs. They have nothing to lose. They're playing with nothing to lose, and they have so much confidence. It's scary, all right? And I'm taking the Commanders. There's going to be the first 2 drives of this game is going to tell a lot of each team. All right, it's going to be a really good game. But the first 2 drives are going to tell a lot. You're going to see Jalen Hurts, how he's looking with the knee injury. You're going to see how the Eagles' rush affects the whole line for the Commanders. And you're going to obviously see if the Commanders' offense comes out with that juice. They come out with that juice, it's over. All right, it doesn't even matter if they come out. They're able to make the games tight. Jayden Daniels is going to find a way to win the game. And he's a rookie, and it's at that point, and that is very, very scary. Commanders versus Eagles, I'm taking the Commanders. I bet against the Eagles last week. I picked against the Eagles last week. All right? But the Rams should have won last week, in my opinion. All right? And I don't think the Eagles have played that good in the playoffs. Now, it is kind of weird that they're winning these games, but Jalen Hurts not playing good in the playoffs. So you could say that. But I'm saying the Commanders are different. High-powered offense. You got to keep up. You got to throw the ball. The Commanders, they're going to overpower them. They're going to be able, Jayden Daniels going to be able to fling that rock. It's going to be rough condition, rowdy conditions. It's in Philly. Philly fans are crazy. Commanders, they beat the Eagles. Chiefs, they beat the Bills. Those are my picks. And they're going to be right.